Well, oh boy. So, this just got announced, and I gotta be honest, I am super excited for this. I am so ready. Like, the moment this was announced, I was like, yes! All the yes! And that is another DC Archie crossover, but this time, this one is just gonna be, this is just totally perfect. This is totally perfect, and that is Archie crossing over with Batman. And not just any Batman, Adam West Batman. Is that not perfect? Is that just not the most perfect thing you've ever heard of? Like, hey, Archie's going to be crossing over with Batman 66, Adam West era Batman. Is that not perfect? Just, yeah. I mean, yeah, there was the, of course we had another Archie crossover with DC where it was Betty and Veronica meeting Harley and Ivy, which incidentally was pretty much an Archie, Harley and Ivy crossover written by Paul Dini. And now they're doing it again with another Batman era, but this one feels like a little more at home with Archie. Although, to be fair, they've been doing some weird stuff. They've been doing a lot of out there stuff with Archie, with, of course, Archie versus Predator. I'm still waiting for IDW to do Mars Attacks Archie, because that's one thing I've always wanted. Mars Attack, you know, IDW I think still has the comic license to Mars Attacks, and the only crossover, the two they did were Mars Attacks IDW, which was technically with Transformers and Popeye and a few other things, but the other one was Mars Attacks Judge Dredd. And this, like, Mars Attacks Archie is just kind of perfect for me. But this is just equally as good, of having Adam West Batman teaming up with Archie and Jughead and everyone else. So the crossover story is that all of Batman's villains are tired of getting beaten up by Batman, so they decide, hey, rather than go to another giant city, how about we just hang out in let's go to this little town called Riverdale. There's no way that, you know, Batman will follow us. He followed him. And not only that, Batman sends Barbara and Dick as undercover students in Riverdale to try to figure out where Joker and the other supervillains are. So yes, that kind of shakes up the romance kind of thing in this story. Like, yeah, it kind of shakes up everything, because you might have Barbara now coming into, like, Archie's like, hey, how you doing? Meanwhile, Dick Grayson comes in, and we all know that everyone wants Dick Grayson, that is. So Betty and Veronica are probably going to be on that. So that's really perfect. Now, the writer of this comic is Jeff Parker, who has been writing a lot of the Batman 66 comics. He also wrote some of the crossovers, like Batman 66, The Man from U.N.C.L.E., and the other one where it crossed over with Steed and Mr. Peel. Mr. Steed and Miss Peel from the British Avengers. Not Marvel Universe Avengers. There was a show in Britain called The Avengers, and they were members on it. I guess they can't call themselves the Avengers anymore because, you know, because Marvel, that's why. So Jeff Parker is also a really good writer. I loved a lot of his stuff from Marvel and DC. Jeff Parker is a seriously underrated writer. Not, in my opinion. He is just totally, I think he's totally underused, unfortunately, by a lot of comic writers. But yeah, he did some cool stuff with Red Hulk after Jeff Loeb's horrendous run. He did X-Men First Class, the comic, which was like a retelling of the early like the lost adventures of the early days of the original 5 X-Men. He also did, he also did a Thunderbolts run, which was also really good after Andy Diggle's run. I've really dug Jeff Parker's run, anything Jeff Parker's on. And to have him on this is nothing short of awesome, honestly. And again, there's nothing you can really do with Archie that hasn't already, there's nothing you could cross over with Archie and make anyone go, frickin' really? Because he's teamed up with the Ninja Turtles, Punisher, fought the Predator, yeah. It's all a thing. It is all a thing. And recently, yeah, like I said, Archie met Harley and Ivy. Granted, they were Rebirth, but still, like, no offense to the, DC Rebirth, but that was this isn't the same universe. So, yeah. I can only imagine what kind of hilarity you could get away with in this story. I'm just kind of imagining, you know, like, the Batmobile racing Archie's car, Jughead eating a burger with Robin and Batgirl, or maybe, I don't know, Jughead is tricked into working for the Joker. He's looking for more money to get food, and he ends up working for like Joker or Penguin or something like that. That could be the case. So yeah, the possibilities are just endless. Now I should also mention that this crossover is coming out in July. This starts in July. It's going to be a 6-issue miniseries, I believe. Could be wrong. I think it was 6, but I'm not sure. So yeah, I am all the excitement right now, guys, because this is just perfect. Archie with Adam West Batman. It wouldn't like I could still see it. And again, like we've had Archie meet the Punisher, so having regular universe Batman wouldn't be so much of a shock. So yeah. I mean, it would be interesting, like, maybe if they could get away with it, since it is CW, and maybe they can contact Archie, the Archie comics, maybe they can get together to do Riverdale Batman, like the Riverdale universe, with with regular universe Batman, or something like that. Or, I don't know, like, if I was to ask, like, because it looks like Archie and DC might come together again. Because, yeah, DC's been very buddy-buddy with everyone else, whereas Marvel's kind of shutting themselves off. Although they did have that crossover with the video game Fortnite, which I've never really played, so I didn't really comment on that. We did have the Attack on Titan crossover a few years back, but that didn't really go anywhere. I'm rambling at this point, but yeah, since DC, if you guys want, DC, I know you're not watching this, but if you guys do another crossover with Archie Comics, how about Archie crossing over with Booster Gold? That'd just be perfect. Archie teaming up with Booster, you know, the guy who's who's full of himself, wanted to, you know, it just mucks around in time. Yeah, Archie, just imagine that. Archie, Jughead, Betty and Veronica and the gang just all go time traveling with Booster Gold. Just get Dan Jurgens to write it. Dan Jurgens knows how to write that character. You got yourself a comic right there. You have got, I know Booster Gold, like, there's a fan base for Booster Gold, and I think there'd be some serious hilarity in there. You could have Rip Hunter in there. You could have Kronos as the main villain or something. I don't know, but yeah, that would be my, if I could write a DC Archie crossover, it would be with Archie meeting Booster Gold and them going on like a time traveling adventure. Like something like Back to the Future. That's perfect right there. It's like, it's Back to the Future, but with Archie and Booster. So, yeah. Anyway. So that's really all I had to say about this crossover. So you guys tell me in the comments below. What do you guys think of Batman 66 crossing over with Archie? Do you guys like it? Do you guys hate it? What do you want to see in the comic? And also, what DC characters would you like to see have a crossover with Archie? Like I said, I'd love to see Booster Gold. That's my #1 pick, but I'm curious to see what you guys have to say. Once again, hope you all enjoyed this, and I will see you guys later.